The fluorescent lights along the corridor flickered in slow intervals. Dust spiraled under the ceiling fan, circles of gray turning in the stale air. The walls smelled of iron and damp leather. The outside of the building was newly painted, but inside, it still carried the odor of the train station it once belonged to. Rust, wet paper, forgotten time. By the door sat a small desk, a dated logbook, a radio, a half-empty thermos. Rows of shelves stretched deep into the dim warehouse, each one stacked with labeled boxes. Some held suitcases, others umbrellas, watches, toys. Every object a fragment of someone's life, stripped of its owner. The task was simple. Record new arrivals, tag them, shelve them. Wheel tracks streaked the floor, remnants of the morning delivery, plastic bags sealed tight, lined like coffins. The first bag hissed open. Inside, a train ticket, a pocket watch, a small notebook. The pages were damp, ink bled into gray veins. The first date was still legible, 3 days ago. A name, reduced to 3 initials, scrawled across the inside cover. The same initials marked the ticket stub. The air between the shelves grew heavier. Each step stirred a faint metallic creak from the racks, the flickering light slicing shadows into ribbons. Looking for space among the older boxes, I saw the farthest section of shelving swallowed in deeper shade. No light reached there. Dust hung in sheets. No one ever went that far back. The floor tilted slightly. The wood under one leg of the shelf was swollen and black from moisture. The labels on the boxes were faded. Some numbers were half erased, others blank. On a bare label, I wrote a new date, placed the notebook and the pocket watch inside. The watch was silent, its glass cracked, the hands frozen at one point. 12:37. As I turned toward the desk to record it, the shelf trembled softly. Dust lifted, drifted, settled again. No breeze. The fan above was still. From the radio came a short burst of static. No one had touched the dial. The speaker hissed, then fell quiet. The air held a metallic taste. The clock by the door had also stopped. 12:37. Its face reflected the dead light of the fluorescent tubes. The light blinked out for half a breath, flared back. A blank tag lay on the floor, torn at the edge, still curling from the rip. It took a moment for my eyes to adjust. The aisles now looked longer than before, their ends lost in haze. Dust spun slowly in the air like ash in reverse. A click, as if a box lid had shifted on its own. The sound came from the back row. The space between shelves narrowed as I walked. Metal brushed against my shoulders. At the bottom, half collapsed, was a cardboard box with a faded mark. I lifted the lid. Inside lay a brown leather suitcase, cracked at the corners. A curled paper tag was tied to the handle. My own surname, smudged but unmistakable. The clasps released with a dry snap. A scent rose, mold, paper, rain trapped in cloth. A folded newspaper lay on top, today's date printed clear. Pinned to it, a photograph. The depot door, the small desk beside it, and a figure standing there. The face was in shadow, but the posture was familiar. The coat, the angle of the arms, the thermos on the table, the same. The radio hissed again, louder this time. Through the static, a whisper formed, a string of numbers, then a breath close to the microphone. I tried to close the suitcase, but the zipper caught. Something inside resisted. My fingers brushed against something cold. Metal. I pulled it free, a small gray key engraved with the same number, 12/37. My eyes lifted to the wall clock. The hands moved once, a faint tick, then silence. The radio cut off abruptly. The entire depot went still. Footsteps echoed, mine but delayed, as if walking one beat behind. The door handle was cold. I pulled. It didn't move. Not locked, held. Behind me, something toppled over. I didn't turn. The radio clicked alive once more, voice crisp and calm. Item 12/37 received. The overhead bulb burst, a flash of white, then shards raining down. Darkness. The radio died. Only a low hum remained, the kind that lives underwater. Searching the desk, my hand brushed the open logbook. A new line of ink glistened, fresh, delivered by blank. The smell of wet ink hung sharp in the air. When the lights returned, the shelves had shifted. Closer now. Boxes leaned forward as if listening. The dust no longer drifted. It hung still, waiting. From the radio came a rhythmic pulse, a ticking clock. 12:38, 12:39. Minutes passed, yet the wall clock was frozen again. Footprints dotted the dust ahead. Not mine. They led to a shelf labeled Waiting, Owner Unknown. The last light flickered, leaving only the small red eye of the radio. In that faint glow, something gleamed inside a half-open box. Glass, not mirror. The box was half filled with water. A ticket floated near the surface. A soaked page clung to the side. Beneath them, a pocket watch. Hands stopped at 12:37. Static again. Then the whisper, closer now. Item 12/37 received. And after a pause, a voice not quite human, muffled like from behind glass. Under observation. A damp chill spread across the floor. Boxes rattled, toppled one by one. Water leaked from the open box, cold as ice against my shoe. A draft cut through the still air. No windows, no vents, yet it brushed the back of my neck. The logbook lay open again. New entry. Item found. Key next column filled in. My own name. The key slipped from my fingers. When it hit the floor, it made no sound, as though it landed on something soft that wasn't there. The radio cleared its throat of static. A steady human tone now. All lost items received. Owner archived. The red light dimmed. Silence pulled everything inward. The floor trembled once. Somewhere deep between shelves, metal groaned. Something heavy slid into place. A new scent seeped out, detergent mixed with damp earth. Under the bottom shelf, a fresh box rested in the dust. Its tag was crisp, ink still wet. 12:38. The lid wasn't fully closed. Inside, a jacket, a notebook, a small gray key. The ink on the notebook cover shimmered under the last flicker of light. From beyond the door came the rattle of a chain. The radio was dark now, yet inside the walls ticked a hidden clock. 12:37, over and over. The lid of the box fell shut by itself. The ink on its tag bled, letters melting into one another. The ceiling fan stirred once, lifting a soft spiral of dust. Between the aisles, in the thin breath of still air, a single line drifted. Not a voice, not a whisper. More like memory breathed aloud. Delivery complete.